Welcome back, guys. This is episode 9 in the series of our Minty Fresh TV podcasts. You're joined with Mint and TK.
This time we're back to speak about, probably the last time we'll speak about Japan, but Mint's final kind of thoughts on Japan and tracks and stuff he's been to. We also find out a very dark secret about Mint's film history, so stay tuned and find out the secrets.
And also your chance to win some exclusive merchandise.
Exclusive.
So yeah, hope you enjoy it. Peace.
Let's go.
We're back again, episode 9.
This time we are going back to the past.
Yeah. Back to the future.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the past.
We're going to do the Old Faithful. Japan.
Japan. Let me pull up some notes here.
The motherland.
The holy grail of the world.
So you've been a few times.
Yep.
We're well into double figures, surely.
Yep.
And then the last few times. Not really spoke about that in any podcast. Spoke about funny things that have happened.
Yeah, did
like
we speak
chasing
about
people in bushes.
Did we speak about me getting arrested?
No.
We'll start with that.
Let's start there.
Yeah, so I can officially say I was arrested in Japan. I wonder how many random foreigners can say that, I suppose, but yeah, I
Not
was
many.
arrested.
You survived.
Yeah, I didn't get charged. That was good.
Mm.
So what they can do there is, if you are a sketchy looking foreigner like me, they will just approach you and start wanting to check your bag.
Mm.
So you got to make sure you got nothing on you, no coffee beans.
No coffee beans.
Yeah, it could have been close.
Coffee beans are bad in Japan.
Yeah, they are super not cool about your coffee beans. But hey, I'm not going to get into specifics about that. But
Coffee grinders.
Yeah, let's just say it was very lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, it was a random stop. I had a few random stops, but this particular random stop, I didn't have my passport on me. So, a little FYI for people who are going to the country, bring your passport.
Problem.
Because I didn't know, I've been going all this time and I didn't actually realize that you needed to have your passport on you at all times. I just didn't, I never did that. And I specifically didn't because there was a time where we went clubbing and we put all our valuables in a locker and then got really drunk and then everyone lost everyone. So by the end of the night, I was the only one out of the group that was still there, surrounded in Japanese people, and everyone else was gone. So being really drunk, you just have fun and then go home yourself. It's not until the next day you wake up and you go, oh, I had stuff like passports, keys, wallets, and you're like, which club was I in? where was that?
What country am I in?
Yeah, what am I doing here? Pretty hungover. So yeah, that next day we actually went back to the club because we freaked out. And we found the club actually, which was good. We found the club and then waited for it to open, then went in and we explained to them that we had left all our stuff in the locker. And then they're like, oh yeah, no problem, the cleaner's been in, they've cleaned out all the lockers. And then they just came out with this maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but they came out with this big duffel sack, Hessian sack, and it was full of stuff.
What?
Yeah, everyone, all the foreigners, stuff that had been left in lockers the night before was just put in this big bag.
Oh man.
So they were like, yeah, just help yourself, just take what's yours.
Pick a passport, any passport.
Yeah, so obviously I just took my stuff, my keys, my wallet, my passport. But you know what I mean? There was nothing to stop someone just taking whatever they wanted. Obviously that's just the Japanese way of you're not going to be a douchebag, but a lot of foreigners would be douchebags and just be like, oh sweet, I quite like that Rolex.
Yeah.
I'll take them.
Yeah, that's definitely my Rolex. I came in here with a
Oh, I
Rolex.
definitely had keys to a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Sure, they're my keys. But like, yeah, we took that. So like from that experience, I said to myself like I wouldn't take my passport if I'm going out drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to lose it. But went out drinking, didn't take my passport, and then got arrested. So
Yeah.
you got to find a compromise. But yeah, basically they searched me on the side of the road, went through my bag, went through my wallet, and they found a residency card from a few years ago when I was living there. And I kept it on me as like a memento, like souvenir, good times. But that's what screwed me in a way, was because they seen that and said, "Whoa, you've been here for how many years?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here. Like you've way overstayed your visa." And I was like,
illegal immigrant.
"Yeah, they considered me an illegal immigrant, I think."
Mm.
So, yeah, they handcuffed me and then took me back to the police station. And
What kind
then
of police car did they have?
they had a crown. Yeah, it was a sweet crown, but I was freaking out. So
Yeah, if you hadn't have been freaking out, you'd have been like, "This is a pretty sweet police car, like crown."
Yeah,
But you're probably freaking out,
I was
pooping your
freaking out.
pants.
Yeah.
So how was JDM prison like?
It was alright. I was there for 5 hours, 6 hours or something,
Mm.
maybe. Yeah, Pete phoned me at one point when I was in there, because like they took me to this interrogation room and then had like a translator on the phone, and then there was like a room of cops. There was one dude sitting in front of me like this with like a translator guy on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was a wall of police officers, and it was just so intimidating.
Mm.
And then yeah, they were going through all my stuff, and I had a vape pen which shouldn't have had, and that was the
Had magic coffee beans in it.
yeah, and it was touch or hit or miss whether or not I was going to be getting deported or
Mm-hmm.
what was going to happen there. But either way, like managed to swerve that somehow. That was sweet. And
I do remember you texted me telling me you nearly got deported.
yeah,
I was like, "What did you do?"
yeah, it was really it was actually pretty scary, because like they'd done it in a way to be intimidating.
Mm.
You know, I mean, and they weren't listening to what I was saying. I said to them at the start, I was like, "We just go back to the hotel. I'll show you my passport. My visa's fine."
Yeah.
Like the pen was what I was worried about in the moment, because I was like, "Ooh, this could be ropey." But,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to go into it, but like a lot happened in that room with them guys going through all my stuff.
JDM cavity search, like.
No, I didn't go quite to that level, thank God. But yeah, they just like emptied my bag out at the side of the road.
Mm.
And that was when I was freaking out. And then they put it all away again. So I was like, okay, cool. Into the fucking police station. And then they opened it all up again and took everything back out again. And I'm like, oh no, we're back to here again.
Not my coffee beans.
Yeah. So, yeah, either way, it was cool. Pete phoned me when I was in there, because like they went through my phone.
Mm.
Like I didn't actually realize that they could do that,
Mm.
which was interesting. Like they obviously can, because they did it. But
They probably shouldn't.
yeah.
Because you weren't actually charged with anything illegal.
No, I hadn't
that
been
point.
charged at that point. I had just
Mm.
been held. So like, yeah, they got me to unlock the phone, and then he went through the phone in front of me, like just went through all my photos, videos.
So your JDM goodness on your phone.
I don't know.
MX5. Like, okay, this guy's not a criminal. He's got an MX5.
Yeah, he's just an MX5 driver. That explains a lot.
That explains everything.
Yeah, I mean, I had Amsterdam photos in there from when I was in Amsterdam.
It's alright. It's legal in Amsterdam.
Legal in Amsterdam. But I mean, yeah, they just went through all my stuff, and it was a bit like, oh god. But then Pete phoned me, and the guy's just like, the police officer's like, passing me the phone over, and I'm looking like, oh, it's Pete. I was just like, yo, and he's like, yo, where the fuck are you? And I was like, oh man, I'm in the police station. And he's like, what are you doing? I was just like, oh man, they fucking arrested me for no passport. And he was like, well, why don't you just come and get it? Like, tell them to come and get it. And I'm like, I've told them that, like, but they're not up for it. They're checking my visa status. I was just like, so I don't know what's happening, but either way, we're going to have to come back to the hotel and get the passport at some point, I'm guessing. So, like, just go find it for me. And, like, go and, like, if there's anything dodge, like, get rid of it, like, because the cops are coming round. And he was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, man!" He's like, "Hurry up!" And I was just like, "Well, I can't really hurry up in this situation, dude.
Pete-
Like, I'm kind of
Pete logic. Just
Yeah,
what are you doing? I don't care if you're in the police
I don't
station.
care.
Just come
Hurry
back
up, get
now.
home. Do you know what time it is?" Like,
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, after like however many hours, 5-6 hours or whatever, they decided that they would take my word for it and they would take me back to the hotel. Because like by like however many hours into it, I was getting pretty irate.
Yeah.
So after they'd gone through my stuff for the second time, put it all away, I was like, sweet, I'm free. Like, I'm fine here. Like, they've not obviously honed in on anything they shouldn't have honed in on. So now it's just a visa situation. And I know I'm fine because I've got a visa. So there's nothing they can do here. So I got a bit arsey with them. And then like they put me in the cop car. And they wouldn't let me put my seatbelt on. And I was just like, let me put my seatbelt on. They were like, no, safety car. Don't wear a seatbelt in a safety car. And I was like, what? Like, where's the logic there? And they were like, no, this is a safety car, no seatbelt. And I was like, well, in my country, we wear seatbelts. And then they were like, well, not in this safety car, you know? It's like, right, okay, this is shit. And then they took me back to the apartment bit. And then they couldn't find a place to park. And I was like, oh, this is getting ridiculous.
Police car, they can park anywhere.
I know.
Yeah.
This is my sort of thinking. But
Stick the lights on, park wherever you want.
I know. Anyway, so then they took me, they got out the car and there was like 3 of them. And then they walked me back to my hotel room. And one of the dudes was like being really loud, you know, like talking away to the other dude, like really loud. And I had to turn around to him and just say to him, you know, you need to keep it down. It's like a residential area. It's like 4 in the morning or something, you know, it's like, just, you need to be quiet. And he's like, oh, okay, thank you, sorry. And then like knocked on the door and then Pete's just like sitting there. He's just like, hands me the passport. And I was like, cheers. And like, opened it up and was like, see, visa. Okay. Arigatou gozaimasu.
See you later.
It's like, yeah, okay, bye. Went inside and was like, what the fuck? That was
Damn.
intense. Pete was just like, what was the deal? And I was like, the residency card. That's what screwed me there. And he's like, right, give me that card. And then like cut it up.
Set it on fire.
Yeah, chucked it in the bin. Was like, that's it, no more residency card. I was just like, yeah, cool. Went to bed, woke up in the morning, looked out the balcony, and there's a cop like standing there.
What?
It's like, Pete, there's a cop like outside. He's like, what? It's like, yeah, there's a cop. It's like, okay, that's weird. And like all day, that cop was there.
Really?
And he just patrolled, like just walked up and down the building. Just
What?
walked up and down the whole day. At least 24 hours, maybe almost, maybe 30, 40 hours he was there. He was just there, positioned, right outside the door.
Random.
It's super random. So maybe it's procedure. Maybe after they arrest someone, they've got to like keep an eye on it, make sure that they're not like doing anything dodge or something. I don't know. I've no idea. But either way, the cop was there, and there was no cops there prior to or after that.
Yeah, pretty random.
Like, it was a residential area. You know what I mean? They've obviously had to assign one police officer to stand outside that building for at least a day.
Damn.
Like in the rain as well. It was like nighttime and it wasn't great weather.
Yeah.
He was just standing there, like walking, pacing. Every now and again, he'd just be looking up at this. Like, we'd be sitting at the balcony being like, he's fucking looking at us. What the fuck?
You seen if you had drinking coffees?
Maybe.
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe. But we were good. It was fine. That was it. So that was my arrested experience. So thankfully I didn't get charged for nothing. And they let me back into the country.
Pretty
after
lucky.
that.
Like, Japan's pretty strict. Like,
Super strict. You can get charged for pulling a wheelie on a push bike. It's pretty strict. But they got to catch you first, you know what I mean? That's how all the street drifters get away with it.
be alright if you're on a push bike and they're on their feet.
Yeah.
You just cycle away from them. Breakneck speed.
It's remarkable, really. Like, you know, we've spoken about this numerous times, where it's remarkable that there's a place where we could go out every Friday night, maybe every Saturday as well, go to the same spot and just drift in the streets in the city. You know, one of the biggest, you know, cities in the world, like, population wise, and you could just go slightly further out from that main city, and you could street drift for however many hours you want. Outside a little box where a policeman stands inside and watches.
Yeah.
Have no number plates on your car. Not necessarily having a car that's got lights on it, or even being street legal. And you can like have a session for however long you want. The cops will turn up, ping their lights on, and everyone will be like, "Oh, fuck's sake, here's the cops." Okay.
Yeah, but if
Off
you're
we go.
wheeling a push bike in the same place, you get arrested.
But you'll get fined for doing a wheelie on a push bike.
That's crazy.
But you can just go. You can drive down to like the local 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Stop there.
Yeah.
Park up there. Turn your car off. Go inside. Get a coffee. Stand outside, and cops will rock up. And they'll like look around the cars. Then they'll just leave again. You jump back in your car and drive back to where you just were. Do it all again, and you can do that all weekend, every weekend.
Yeah.
And then they changed it so that, as far as I know, they changed it so that they made it so it was like gang-related activities. So if you got caught street drifting, I think they have to build a case up. So if you get either reported by some people, so like say if like you grassed me up, and they got like 2 other dudes to grass me up, then that would be justifiable to do me.
Yeah.
Other than that, they have to get like your face and plates or something like that. And then once they've got that up, they can build a case, and then they can come to your door. But like until then, people are just like having fun. And cops
It's probably pretty hard in Japan to build a case, I suppose. Like
Yeah.
UK or America, they just turn up at your house. Doesn't matter if they got a case or not.
Yeah, well, they did with Jites, remember? They just turned up at Jites after he got caught. Like
In Mexico.
in Mexico doing roundabout skids, and then spun out in front of the cop. The cop and then bolted off home. And then cops literally turned up at his door like a half an hour after that.
I'm
was like,
surprised.
"Why did you leave?" And he was like, "Oh, I just panicked."
Because in Mexico, doing Mexican things.
Yeah. Mental.
Oh well, so that time in Japan when you were hooty with Pete, obviously, and Alex, so...
Yeah, so well, that time I got arrested, I wasn't with Alex, that was just with Pete.
that
yeah.
typhoon time.
That was a typhoon time.
Yeah.
With Yamanashi. Went to Yamanashi, and it was went with Super Style Mo. Super Style Mo took us over in the Crown
Yeah.
to Yamanashi, and it was supposed to be like 1 hour and a half or something from where we were staying to Yamanashi, and it ended up taking like hours, like 4 hours, 5 hours or something to get there, because it was like every road was blocked.
That was
like,
the same time it was final bout special stage Japan, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that's where we were going,
Yeah.
Yamanashi. Final bout special stage. And it was a real shame because we were super hyped up for that event. That was why we went there mainly, for a special stage. And like certain teams couldn't make the event because the roads were knackered, and a lot of people who travelled there to go watch it couldn't find a way there because of the roads. And we were lucky we had Mo that took us in his car, and he was happy to drive for like the whole day pretty much to get there and get back. So by the time we got there, it was like getting, it was late on in the afternoon. It was when it started getting dark, and like there was a big thing about not being able to like extend the track and stuff. So they had to like do some speaking with the owners and stuff. But then when we did get there, it was decent because there was a lot of people there. It was a really good event. Like a lot of foreigners had travelled there for that event. That was worth watching. That was when I got to meet like Simba and stuff. That was cool. Never met him before, so that was good. But yeah, the time before that, because I had a trip just a few months before that, I think it was, with Pete and Alex. That was a good trip, because that was when we did like a load of events within the space of like a few days. It's like we arrived in Tokyo, or I arrived first. Pete and Alex were on a different flight, and then we had train tickets, JR passes. And the idea was we were going to go to Tokyo, and then we were going to take a bullet train down to Osaka like a few days later. And then like see Ryota, meet Streeter and blah, blah, blah. But I arrived in the morning. They weren't arriving there till the afternoon. And then I'd said to Ryota, "Oh, I'm in Japan again. Going to come down to Osaka like in a couple days' time." And he said, "Oh, there's a Meihan Day tomorrow." And I was like, "Is there?" And he's like, yeah, you should come. I was like, I should.
We should make it so.
I can make this happen. So I was like, right, how do I get to Osaka like tonight? I'm not taking a night bus. I've done that before. That was shit. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone. It's good for being cheap, but that's it.
Trapping in Japan vibes.
No, it's nothing like it, man.
Oh, dude,
it's so rubbish. Like they close the curtains.
Oh,
I know. Like you can't
you
even
can't
look
trap
out the
while
windows.
you're in Japan.
No trapping in Japan.
Fuck's
Only the bus driver gets to trap in Japan.
Yeah,
All the passengers are in like literally a curtained room.
curtain box.
Yeah. and the seats are tiny. Like, it's worse than an airplane.
Oh man.
It's so uncomfy.
If you're
And then
saying they're tiny,
I'll tell you a story about that buses, actually. I'll tell you what's really not good is that, right, so I fell asleep on that bus somehow, right? And the bus will stop every, like, so often at, like, a service area, parking area, whatever, to let people go to the toilet or get a smoke.
And you didn't go to the toilet and you peed yourself?
No, it's not as bad as that, thankfully. I woke up and the bus had stopped. So it was like, oh, the bus has stopped. Decent, I'm going to go to the toilet. But I didn't know how long the bus stopped for. So, like, I ran off the bus and then, like, ran to the toilet, and was like, oh, okay, sweet, that's better. And then went back to the bus, right? But, like, when I came back to the bus, there was, like, 20 buses, like, all in a line. And they all looked the same. And they all had slightly different characters on, like, the top of the writing thing.
No.
And I was like, no. Like, what bus did I just come off of? I had no idea.
Go on each bus to see if your stuff's there.
Yeah, I was freaking out. And, like, everybody, like, I would just, like, be standing at, like, one bus, and, like, this one guy would go on the bus, and I'd be like, oh, do you speak English? And then the guy would be like, little. And I'd be like, oh, where's this bus going? And he'd be like, oh, it's going here. And I'd be like, damn, it's not this bus. Okay, going to the next bus, and then, like, next person to go on it, and I'd be like, excuse me, where's this bus going? And, like, I had to do this until I found the bus that I was supposed to go on. That was an ordeal, because I was like, I'm gonna miss my bus and be stuck in a random parking area at, like, 3 a.m. Like, oh, no idea where I was. I learned from that, I'll never get off a bus and not, like,
Without knowing
look
which
at
one
it.
it was.
Yeah, like, at least get an idea on what colour it was.
Even if you took a reg plate, you'd be alright.
I know, like, anything. Like, I just didn't think. I just got off the bus and just went straight to the toilet. I didn't even realise there was other buses, like, around me. I just literally walked off. It was like, I was so tired, just like, oh. Turned around when I came back out and was like, oh no. Like, it was like pick and mix, like, which one?
Yeah.
Like, I was lucky to get the right bus.
That's just you in Japan, full stop.
Yeah, and you can't even see who's on the bus because all the curtains are shut. So it's not like you can even, like, be like, oh yeah, no.
Oh, there's that chick that I saw. Yeah, that dude
she's
I
in
saw.
that bus. No, she's not in that bus.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm never doing a night bus again.
Yeah,
No
so
way.
no night bus.
No night bus. So yeah, I wanted to surprise Pete and Alex, so I decided to rent a Mark X.
Balled out.
Yeah, that was sweet. I was on their website and I was like, oh, I'm going to rent a car. And I was like, if I'm going from Tokyo to Osaka, I don't want, like, a K car. I want something decent. I was like, I want a Crown, but, like, Crowns are expensive to rent. So I was like, Mark X is not bad. I didn't really know about anything about Mark X's at that point. Other than it was like a Crown, but just not as expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I rented a Mark X. It was a GRX, I want to say a 130. So, like, 2 models up from my one. 2.5 litre V6. I think it was a 2.5 litre. Rented this car, and then went back to the airport to meet Pete and Alex, and then, like, we walked out. And we went and got JR passes for those two. And then, like, you know, you get your JR pass, and then you walk straight onto the train. Like, from there, pretty much, you pick a train ticket from there.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of bullshit a story to Alex about, like, getting your train pass, and then, you know, we have to go somewhere else to get the train. So I never told him. And then, yeah, I took him outside, and then we went outside across the car park, and he's like, oh, yeah, no, where are we going? And I was like, oh, yeah, just, like, down here, getting our train. And then, like, as we get closer, it's like I unlock it, and I was just like, "Oh, by the way, we're not getting a train. I rented a Mark X." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, and we're not going to Tokyo." And Alex was like, "What? Where are we going?" And I was like, "Oh, we're going to Osaka, like, now. We've got to go to Meihan tomorrow morning." And he was like, "Oh, what the fuck? Like, I wanted to go to Tokyo," and I was just like,
"No, man, I'd just been like, yeah, okay."
I know, he was like, yeah, he wanted to go into Tokyo straight off the bat, but I was like, nah, we're going to Osaka. So got in and then drove overnight down to Osaka, and then went to Meihan the next morning for a drift day, which was sweet. Met Ryota and all those dudes. Casey was there, I think. Yeah, it was sweet.
It's pretty good.
And then, yeah, we did that event, and then I think we chilled in Osaka for a couple of days after that. But then I was going to be meeting up with Kisa.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really eager to meet her, obviously. And she messaged me and said, "Oh, I've got a practice day at Nico,
Mm.
like tomorrow or whatever it was. Do you think you can make it?" And I was like, "Yes." Like,
I've driven from Tokyo to Osaka, so
yeah, beats well
Osaka
drive
to
from
Nikko won't be so bad.
Osaka to Nico. Yeah, so
Yeah.
got another rental car because like we had looked at it and we were like, oh, we could take the train here and there and blah blah blah, but we're not going to arrive at Nico until like maybe midday. I was like, not an option. I was just like, we need to be at Nico like
Mhm.
opening time. I want to be there like opening time.
Yeah.
I need to meet this chick. And then yeah, we got a rental car and then drove from Osaka to Nico in like a 1 hour basically. Took quite a minute to get there. And it was awesome. It was really good. First time at Nico circuit, and yeah, I got to meet Kisa. She was cool. And then after that, we got in touch with Cutlass, who were over in Japan as well for Ibisu. They had bought a pair of JZX 100s and were Ibisu driving. So
Yeah.
we were like, well, we're kind of north. Let's just go further north and then go and meet them. So
Mm-hmm.
after Nico, we spent the night there and then drove up to Ibisu and then spent the day we spent the night actually in like in an onsen, like hot spring hotel place. It was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the outskirts of where was it? Nihonmatsu area, just outside Nihonmatsu, I think. And then yeah, the next morning we then drove to Ibisu, met Cutlass. That was the first time and only time actually meeting Cutlass.
Yeah.
In person, and then spent the day with them drifting in the JZXs around Ibisu, which was epic. And then stayed the night, and then the next day I think it was the next day we drove them back down to Tokyo. So it was a hell of a trip, like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We'd gone from like, oh, we're going to get a train ticket and we're going to use the trains and we're going to just chill out, to we're now renting cars everywhere and we're going now.
We're balling out.
Yeah, so Alex was a bit hacked off because he was like, oh, we buy train tickets, we don't use train. And I was like, yeah, but you know, you only live once.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And I need to get to Nico to meet this chick.
Like you in Japan, you just spend money in Japan. You just like
constant.
the minute you go to Japan. If it's parts, like rental cars, food, drink.
It has to be done. Like if you're there, it's like, they say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy you a ticket to Japan.
You can get you a rental car in
pretty
Japan.
close. You can get you a V6 in Japan. That's pretty close.
Money
So,
can't
yeah.
buy happiness, but you can drive through the night to go to racetracks.
Yeah, you can meet like all these cool people.
Yeah, imagine being normal and like going to Japan and just not doing any of that. Imagine you went to Japan. Oh, I went to go to Japan for the temples and the ambience.
I mean, I can imagine it, but
it would suck.
yeah, the temples are good, castles are decent, gardens are good.
Yeah,
but
it's cool and everything, but like, yeah,
if you were to spend like 2 weeks doing that, it might be a bit like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that would be.
I could obviously Japan's for everybody, but I can't imagine going to Japan for anything other than cars and tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's tracks literally everywhere in Japan.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. When you consider the UK, what would the UK be, like half the size of Japan probably?
Way less.
And there's probably like 1/10 of the tracks.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's tracks everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Cool place, like.
Yeah, it's a remarkable place. I didn't take Pete to a salon though.
No,
No.
just yourself pretty much. Yeah.
Or with Mo.
Mm.
The last salon I went to was 2020, and I went with Mo. I was staying in Osaka. I wasn't gonna go to the salon because I wasn't feeling great.
Typical Japan. The story starts in Japan. We're gonna stay here. We're not gonna go to the other thing we said we were gonna go to,
I know.
and then end up going to the thing we're not gonna go to.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't up for it. I'd been so much, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of not done with it, but I figured I'd seen what I needed to see, so I was like, oh, I can't really be bothered. I was just going to stay in Osaka. And then, like, I don't know why, I just got this last minute, like urge to, like, go. So I just messaged Mo and was like, yo, if I buy you a ticket, like, do you want to take me?
Yeah.
I was just like, I could probably just fly up tomorrow morning and then just go. Like, he was like, yeah, cool. So I did that, just took a flight straight off, and then got into Tokyo, who picked me up, and then took me to Auto Salon, spent a few days Tokyo. I think I spent 2 days. It's 2 days? Can't remember. But funny story, actually, because I don't know if I've talked about this in a previous, did I talk about it in a previous episode where I met Ilya? Can't remember if I did or not.
Maybe. I don't know. You can talk about it again.
Yeah, Ilya is the dude who runs Final Bout, one of the founders of Final Bout in the US with Simba. And I had never met Ilya before until this trip. I'd spoken to him online but never met him. And then, but I'd been speaking to 3L for like ages and ages. 3L does like music for heaps of stuff, but he did like the music for the Risky Devils original videos, soundtracks, and I'd spoken to him for ages. And 3L said, "Oh, Ilya is going to Auto Salon. You need to meet up with him." And then, like, I've given him some stuff to give you. I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I was like, what does he look like?" And he's like, "Oh, he's like a tall, blonde Russian." And I was like, okay, well, Auto Salon's full of foreigners, and I'm never going to find him. So, yeah, I went to Auto Salon with Mo, and didn't meet him. Alexei was there. That was the year I was on Alexei's live stream.
That's right, yeah.
And then, yeah, went for food after the Auto Salon. Still hadn't met Ilya. And yeah, went for food. Alexei was there, still live streaming. And I remember that. And afterwards, like, we'd spent a few hours after the salon, went back to the station to get a train back into Tokyo. And it was just so bizarre. Like, the likelihood of this occurring was like, so like the train arrives, doors open, and like get into the train, and there was a dude just like standing like right at the door, like facing the other way. Doors closed, train starts moving, dude turns around, and it was Ilya. But I didn't know Ilya. So, but Mo knew Ilya. So he was like, "Oh, yo, Mo." And Mo was like, "Oh, hey, man, how's it going?" Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, "Yo, Mint, this is Ilya." And I'm like, "What?" Like, really? And he's like, "Mint." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Dude, I got some stuff to give you that 3L gave me, like, I need to give you." And I was like, "I know. Like, I was speaking to him earlier. Like, you said that you had some stuff for me." And we were both just sort of like, whoa, we just spent all day at the salon, didn't see each other.
Yeah.
Salon finishes. We've gone for dinner, like, hours later, and we happened to be on the same train, the same carriage.
Pretty trippy,
at the same time. Like, had either of us gone on, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'd been standing the carriage down, I'd have never seen him.
Yeah.
Or like if he'd got on the train earlier or after.
Yeah, stopped for like a pack of smokes or something.
Anything.
You'd have never seen him.
So that's what I'm saying.
It's trippy, like.
The likelihood of, like, there's so many trains.
Yeah.
So many carriages, so many people. So much time had passed. Like I just couldn't get over, like, what would the actual chances be? Like, there must have been like 1 in billions. But anyway.
That's when you know you're in a simulation.
I know.
When that happens.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be.
Like, he was thinking about it, I was thinking about it, 3L was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mo would have been thinking about it because I'd been speaking to Mo about meeting Ilya.
Yeah.
So it's like at least 4 people were actively had that thought at some point during that day. And then by the end of the day, it like came to something.
Yeah.
It was like, my mind was blown. Like, I've seen so many things happen that I'm like, that there's no way that's coincidence. But that, of all things, was like, I can't explain that.
No.
So then, yeah, we shared like a half an hour, 45-minute train ride into Tokyo. It was amazing. Like, you know, like meeting him properly, and he was showing me like all his work that he had taken over, like, for Final Bout, and yeah, it was just epic. And then I got my stickers, and he told me about an event that he'd organised the next day at Shibuya. I think it was Shibuya like car meet.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, yeah, if you can get here, like you need to come. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm down for that. So then I got my way to Shibuya the next night. It was like a after Tokyo auto salon meet.
Mm.
And it was awesome. Like, it was so cool. Like,
Yeah.
so many cool cars had turned up to that event. And that was the meet where Magician had turned up as well. And then I was like super fanboying. Like, haven't fanboyed that hard in years. But
Yeah.
in fact, I fanboyed this morning when I got that message from Fleckas. Because I was like, no way, Fleckas Talk has sent me a message and he's shared my stuff. It's like,
It's pretty cool.
fanboy.
Like, they're just like they're just normal dudes.
They're
It's
just
like us,
dudes.
but it's like it is. I've been like that a few times with dudes that
Yeah.
I follow and like, no way that dude replied to me and he spoke to me. What the fuck's
Yeah,
going on?
it's
Like,
so trippy.
cool.
It's like the amount of people I met over in Japan that have like gone to show them a photo of my chaser and they've already known it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like I showed Magician the chaser, and like
It's like, you copied our style.
yeah,
Get the
what
fuck out of here.
Like, and he was just like, oh yeah, I know it. And I was like, no way. Like,
Yeah.
and then we started just like talking, like joking about the fact that it's like same color,
Mm-hmm.
same like logo. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I was just like said to him, I was like, oh look, font same, and he's like, oh yeah, cool font. And I was just like, yeah, cool font.
All the proper gangsters have brush script. Like,
Brush script
yeah,
is the OG.
the OG. If you know, you know. Like,
hmm So yeah, that turned out to be a really good event. That was a good memory. That one.
mm-hmm.
That was ace. And then I got to sticker swap with him. So I got a Magician sticker and
Yeah.
gave him a Minty Fresh sticker.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, life goals.
Yeah, I think I've got
'Cause,
a
like-
magician sticker in the Evo that you gave me.
Yeah, I probably do. Because I fanboyed Magician like years ago. Like, you know.
Oh, dude, magician. Like, we knew about magician before probably most. Like, not being big headed about it, but we knew about a lot before a lot more people did because Al had the DVD that had magician on it when they did Drift and Doku. They did the competition, and they were probably unknown then.
Yeah,
Well, not in Japan, but.
pretty grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't probably until Speed Hunters kind of featured them that they
Yeah.
well known,
Yeah.
I guess. Well, outside of Japan, probably.
That the 110 was before I ever knew about anything about chasers. Because I remember speaking to you about it and being like, "What even is it?" And you're like, "It's a chaser." I'm like,
No, it's a Mark II.
"Well, Mark II, yeah." But I don't even know what that. Like, you know what I mean? At the time, I didn't even know. Still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know.
But like at the time, I definitely didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, "How's that dude afford that car? That car must be expensive."
Yeah, I know. So that's an
And
expensive
it probably
car.
was. Like, how old would that car be at that time? Like maybe 3-5 years. Like 3-5,
Yeah,
maybe 6 years old at the maximum.
probably.
That dude was skidding with it. Definitely heavy inspiration.
Yeah. So to finally meet them was like, or
Mhm.
at least meet one of them was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, it was good. In fact, I recently posted a video up on Mental Fruit of the one of the street drifting nights at Daiko.
mhm.
That was a good night as well. That was actually footage from a long time ago. Like a long time ago,
17 or something maybe.
probably.
The statute of limitations is over now, so it's okay. You can post it.
I know, well that's why I posted it, because like it's so much time has passed.
Yeah, those dudes can't get in trouble now.
Those guys have probably stopped, don't even have those cars anymore.
No.
It was quite, what I didn't explain in that video was I went for laps with this dude that I didn't know, and after like a little bit of time doing some skids, I think his gearbox blew or his clutch blew or something. I think it was his gearbox that blew, and yeah, we just had to pull over obviously, and like he ended up getting me like he got one of his mates to come and pick me up, take me away, whilst he like got a recovery truck in to take his car away.
Yeah.
Which was just like the logistics of doing that stuff after you've just done something super illegal in like an area where cops were out looking anyway, and everybody was so calm.
I
Like,
suppose you don't have much choice.
yeah,
If you need to get If you need to get a recovery, you need to get a recovery.
But you imagine here, like imagine like we were all out doing skids, and then like somebody's gearbox blew up, and we're like, ah shit, gearbox is blown up. Right, go and phone someone to come and pick this passenger dude up. We'll get a recovery truck out. If the cops turned up at
That's
any
not
point,
going to happen. The cops would be there before you knew about it.
I know, and they'd just be like, right, well, you've evidently been doing something you shouldn't be doing. You're coming with us.
Dude, I've been doing photo shoots and not doing anything wrong, and the cops show up. So obviously somebody grasses on you.
Yeah.
There's no, like, I've been down some weird streets like a cop would not drive down, and then all of a sudden these cops turn up and they're like, yeah, what are you doing? Is your car broken down? I'm like, what are you talking about? Did like Ollie's photo shoot, the mini clubman that I did there. We would like laid the car out across the street because the street was so cambered. We'd laid it out on the airbags and it was basically touching the ground in the middle, and then it was over the street cambered down away from the car. It looked like a cool photo. And midway through doing that, two CID dudes turned up. Just like, what are you doing? Like, taking photos. Why? Because we are. It's like, you can't do that here. Like, what? That was like a fancy part of Aberdeen I was doing that. So, you would never get away with that. If you blew your gearbox doing street, you just better make sure you keep your car going. Because you're going to get nicked. 100%.
Yeah.
You better be good at driving your car with no gearbox.
I know, yeah.
Or no clutch.
Yeah, different place altogether, is it?
Yeah.
A little bit stricter here with that stuff.
But then in Japan, I don't know, I've seen a few videos in Japan. It seems to be if you're not harming anybody or not doing anything that annoys other people, you can kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
Kind of. You know, and the cops must know there's people up the toll gate skidding.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't know that's happening, but I suppose, you know, it's self-policing to a degree.
Yeah.
Like the guys are, like the guy, like the dudes that do toge every weekend or every weeknight or whatever in Japan have got a setup, you know, radio setup, or at least people flagging. It's still dangerous, obviously, but you've got people at the top of the hill, people at the bottom of the hill that's flagging. There's unwritten rules kind of thing, you know what I mean, when you're skidding. So the cops probably think, well, as long as nobody dies, it's fine.
Yeah. They're also like going far enough out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're like 3 hours outside of anywhere.
And a lot of these roads as well are single like one ways. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you're not going to meet oncoming traffic on some of these roads.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fine. Worst case scenario is you're going to be crashing in like a guardrail or something, or going off the side or crashing into somebody else. That's worst case, really.
Yeah, I saw a couple of pictures last week, I think it was, if somebody had gone through a guardrail.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was recent though. Looked savage. The guy was okay, like, but pretty savage. Like, it's good to see it's alive and well in Japan.
Is that an FC?
I think it was an FC.
Yeah, blue one.
Yeah, alive and well in Japan. Still skidding.
Yeah, it's still going on there. Yeah, it's good. Just doesn't happen the same over here, does it?
No, it's not the same, huh?
Too much to risk.
Yeah. There's probably a lot to risk in Japan, to be fair. Like, you know, there's D1 guys that have been banned for life banned for 10 years.
Some guys have been jailed.
Was that it?
Some guys have been jailed for street over there.
Yeah.
I could probably Jamie that.
Like, get up, Jimmy.
Says the leader of a gang of drifters, Tetsuya Okajima, 40, and 19 other drift racers have been arrested, police said Monday. Police said they have also...
Oh, is that recently though? I'm talking about like...
This is 2009.
Oh, maybe it is him then. I don't know.
Had also ascertained the identity of a total of 84 drift racers.
Damn.
The 20 have been charged with dangerous driving by the Traffic Enforcement Bureau of the Metropolitan Police Department. According to the police, Okishima was the leader of the hot rodding gang known as the Blacks, and is an influential member in the drifter world.
Damn.
And he was quoted to say, "No matter how many times you arrest me, I'm still going to cruise on public roads."
Yeah.
He's a G.
Oh, gee. Proper gangster, like.
Here's another one, 2009. Kazuma Hanajima, 36 and 5 vocational school students in their 20s are arrested on charges of vandalising trains.
That's not drifting. Take it, they're cutting train handles off.
Oh, maybe.
No way. Oh man, stealing the train handles.
No, these guys are painters or something.
Oh well, pretty bad. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, getting it. Yeah, going back to the beginning of this, getting arrested in Japan isn't a good idea.
No.
I don't fancy getting jailed in Japan. Like, I don't think it'd be very good.
Nakamura was arrested on suspicion of street drifting.
Yeah, he got back from D1 for
2011.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's why he's only just driving now. Can you imagine him street drifting though?
I know.
It wouldn't be like little tiny drifts. It would be full on backies like everywhere.
No, Naoki said. Naoki said, I wanted to practice.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Doing backies at Mayhan, not enough practice. Like,
Mad. Yeah, a few guys have been busted, but it's not the same level as people getting busted here.
yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. They have to build a case up, I think, or they have to get somebody to report you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we digress.
As usual.
That's pretty.
As all good Minty Fresh conversations go.
Yeah.
So yeah, planning this year to go back.
Yeah, planning to. But the flights are have gone up quite a bit. So you're looking around about £1,000 a person.
Damn.
It's a lot of money.
There's a lot of money.
If you're buying 2 tickets, it's $2,000 without any accommodation,
Yeah.
trains or food. It's quite a chunk of change.
Yeah, when I was looking at, you're basically talking about 2 Gs each by the time you get flights, accommodation, and potential JR passes.
I was budgeting for $4,000 myself before, and that was when flights were cheap.
Oh, but that's the thing. That's not including anything you buy
Yeah,
or
yeah,
any food.
yeah.
You know what I mean? 2 Gs will get you there and get your hotel. That's it. And then inevitable extreme spends when you're there. Because we're buying all the JDM goodies.
Which is now probably super expensive.
Which is super expensive because the yen's up. And the cost of everything's gone up anyway. That's it now. What was I was looking at the other day? Can't remember. I looked at someone. It was it was a magazine or something. And back in the day you were getting them for £2. And now it was basically £8 a magazine. Which isn't truly bad, but it's because the yen's up, because the cost of everything's up.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, I'll tell you another funny story about random coincidences in Japan. So during those days we were in Osaka with Pete, before we went to Nikko. I think it was then I went to go Toge with Streeter. But what was funny was we had a day of sightseeing or whatever before that, so we went to Osaka Castle.
Okay.
And it was walking up to the castle, and it was so busy. Holy shit, man! It was the busiest I've ever seen it. I don't know what event it was. There was something going on, but it was super busy. And we're walking up towards the castle, and then I just heard "Yo, Mint," and I was and it was Mito. It was Mito. He was just he was walking down from the castle. I was whoa. How's it going? And to give you an idea, the castle has multiple entrances.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways to get there, and different paths. And as I say, it was crowded, thousands of people everywhere. And he's just by chance we were he was leaving the same time I was arriving. He'd already been up and went, oh fuck that, it's way too busy, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And bounced. And then he just happened to spot me as we were walking up, and we were wow, what are the chances? No way. Okay, that's cool. So then we said I said to him, I'll need to message you on Insta or whatever, and we'll catch up before we head off or whatnot. And then we went up to Toge, and it was middle of nowhere. Spent hours getting there, or maybe an hour or so to get there. And then Yeah, then meteor arrived.
Just out of the blue.
It was like, what are the chances? Like, we hadn't mentioned anything about going to this toge, but just by chance he arrived as well. It was like, whoa. And then we just started chatting shit and then got into these like deep conversations about life, and it's like, this is not the conversations I was expecting to have at the top of a toge in the middle of nowhere.
In
Like,
the middle of the night.
Middle of the night. It was super random, but like, I just thought like the chances of us coming across each other at the castle first and then up the toge was like,
I think the chances of meeting at the castle is pretty high, pretty low. High, and then probably the toge is pretty low because you're both into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're probably in the same area for that exact reason.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was a major planned event.
No.
But yeah, he obviously knew someone who was driving there too, and I knew someone who was driving there too, so it just clicked like that. But yeah, I mean, the castle, again, it could have been that thing where he had gone into the castle and I never would have seen him that day.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, had he been like another half an hour up at the castle, I wouldn't have seen him on the way down. Whatever, anything could have happened. He could have gone a different entrance.
Yeah, some dude stopped in front of him, tie his shoelace.
Anything.
And you wouldn't have seen him for that 10 seconds. Yeah, it's pretty trippy.
Super trippy.
There's
like,
loads of stuff happens like that. There's something happened with me a couple of weeks ago where there was a guy I used to work with I was thinking about, and I've not spoken to him in probably 10 years. And 2 days later he messaged me out of the blue. And I was like, that is trippy. Because there was no reason, the reason he messaged me was for someone else, but it was just trippy it's trippy that it happened. The universe, there's something going on that's connected somehow.
It's a matrix.
Mm-hmm.
It was like earlier when I said super zest and opened my phone up and he messaged.
That's right, yeah.
You know, it was like, whoa, my mind was like, whoa. I literally just said his name out loud.
Yeah.
I hadn't spoken to him for 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty trippy. Oh, wow.
Bit of a fact about the Matrix I just found out the other night. Did you know that on all the scenes in the Matrix film, where they're in the Matrix, it's all got a green tint?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
And outside of the Matrix, it has a blue tint.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I've read that a while back.
And see, watching it back, I was like, oh yeah, everything has got a green tint.
Yeah.
And the scene where he's in the car, getting the spider thing taken out his stomach, the rain on the window behind him is like the Matrix code.
Yeah.
Yeah, never noticed.
Yeah. I saw that film when it first came out in the cinema. That's how old I am.
Wow.
And I remember I went to see it with a guy that I was mates with from school, and we both had some strong coffees and watched that. And then when we came out, I remember tripping balls.
Yeah.
For weeks after that about that film. Like, it was so. I suppose up to that point I'd never thought about it like that. And I changed my life forever. But it did, like, it changed the way I thought forever. After that. So it's a pretty trippy film. It's cool how you can watch a film and it do something like that to you.
Yeah. That film was broadly based on Ghost in the Shell as well.
Yeah. Yep.
But probably the most influential film of our life in some respects.
Yeah. I would say so.
For like opening people's minds up.
In terms of, opening people's minds and changing the way you potentially think about things.
Because even if it's not quite as literal as that, a lot of it is what's happening to some degree in terms of like control, like, you know, environment, social kind of conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, and like people feeling like they want to break free from it. But yeah.
Yeah, totally digressed again.
Yeah.
Shadowban territory, like.
Yeah, we'll save that for a Shadowban episode. We'll maybe
if you like what you hear, comment Shadowban.
Shadowban. Yeah, we'll maybe need to put in an episode with
Shadowban on the go.
Are we going to be announcing the competition winners for the air fresheners in this episode?
Well, not when there's nobody commented on the comments, because we've done it literally right after the last one.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Are we going to do a competition for this one as well? Yeah, we should, and then
Yeah,
announce
could
it in
do.
episode 10, 11 or something.
Yeah. What we give away this time?
Let's give away, by this time, when we release this, we should have a gear sticks.
Gonna
Let's
give
release
away
a
a gear
gear
stick.
stick.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
Comment
So-
gear stick, and then green or purple,
Yeah.
and we'll pick a winner at random in
Yeah.
a future episode.
It's not hard to do, guys. You've literally just got to watch up to this part of the show,
Mm-hmm.
like it, subscribe,
And then comment with
which you probably already have if you've watched this far.
yeah.
And then comment, gear stick. Or no, comment Shifter Series,
Ooh.
because that's what it's all about, is the title of that.
Shift the series, and then the colour, green or purple.
Yeah, shift, and it has to be like that. It has to be Shifter Series purple or Shifter Series green.
Mm-hmm.
If you just type in green gear stick, you're not in the competition.
No bueno.
It has to be specific. And then whoever wins it will select them at random on a future episode, and then we'll get your details and then post out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll post them worldwide.
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 Worldwide, wide. Boats and hooves. Prestige, worldwide, wide. Talking about influential films.
Yeah.
The Matrix and Step Brothers. Let's put them both together. They're the most influential films in
I've never seen that.
What? Oh, and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. The podcast's over. Mint's going to have to go watch Step Brothers now.
I never even heard of it.
Bro, what? No way.
Hang on, let me Jamie that.
We're getting a tangent. We're going tangential here.
Let me Jamie that. What
While
do you
you're
say it was?
jaming it, I've got a funny story about Japan.
You go for
Talk
it.
about coincidence. I think we've spoken about this before. I can't remember, but I'm going to repeat it again. The time you phoned Kyle and asked him to check on Google Maps where you were because you were stuck under a bridge and it was raining and you didn't know where you were. And the only way for him to find you and help you is to find you on Google Maps. And you stood out, apparently you took a step out from under the bridge and waved your arms and asked Kyle, can you see me on Google Earth?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I love that story.
It's not actually that live, the maps.
No, it's not live at all. That's the thing that made me laugh so much about it, is the fact that you were like, you actually thought it was live. That's how drunk you were.
Yeah, well, alcohol is a hell of a
Yeah.
drug.
My other favourite story, when you messaged me to tell me you'd left a hotel or a house or something and you're on the train and you'd forgot your camera, your passport and your wallet.
But that
And
wasn't a nightclub night. That was
Yeah.
that was a different night.
Another night. And you had to go back and ask for your stuff back.
Awkward.
Mm-hmm.
very,
happens.
very awkward.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I've lost a lot of stuff over there. My mind. All my
Japan will just have a
finances.
massive bag of stuff that's yours.
Yeah, mints.
Mint's personal belongings.
Yeah,
Japan.
probably. There's I'm just trying to see if there's like a thing. I recognize that like the cover of the disc, like with the two people.
Cover of the fist.
The disc.
The disc off of Step Brothers.
Yeah, no, I've not seen this film.
Oh my gosh, right. Well.
No, not ringing any
So
bells.
if you get
mate.
this far in the video, you should now comment, Mint, what are you doing? Why have you never seen Step Brothers?
Yeah, never heard of it.
Boys are shambles.
Oh well, sweet.
Yeah, so you need to go watch Step Brothers now.
Yeah, I'll go and watch that.
That's what you could do tonight.
Could do, yeah. Yeah.
Watch Step Brothers.
Yeah, why not?
Oh well. So, end of another episode.
Episode
9.
number 9?
Oof.
Is it?
Yeah. Gonna have a
Dude, we're
party for
almost
the
in
next
double
one.
digits now.
Yeah, we should have a party for the next one.
Should actually get a disco ball.
We should get somebody on for the next one. That's what we should do.
That would be good, actually. We can
Yeah.
maybe see about getting Austin in since he's kind of standing by.
Yep. the US contingent of the Minty Fresh crew.
Yeah, that would probably make some sense getting him on, reckon.
Cool. So remember, like, comment, subscribe. Comment, shift this series, green or purple, whatever your preference is. But it must be shift this series. And we'll pick a winner in the future.
Yeah. Shifter series. And you too could win this gear stick.
Yeah. But for now, we'll catch you later on.
Yeah, take it easy. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in episode 10.
Yeah.
Peace.
Laters.